Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Xiong. It looks like North Korea leader Kim Jong Un has shed some weight. Kim was photographed recently at Workers' Party meetings. He looks slimmer. State media run interviews with ordinary North Korean citizens, and they voiced concerns about the country's leader held across the impoverished nation. One interviewee, a middle-aged North Korean man, said, "We were most heartbroken when we saw our dear General Secretary had become emaciated. Tears came out naturally." South Korean officials have recently said that they noticed no significant change to Mr. Kim's health. Last November, the South Korean spy agency's assessment indicated that the dictator, despite chronic smoking and obesity, appeared to be fine. But Pyongyang watchers sense Mr. Kim's slimmer figure has potential political undertones, providing stark imagery that the supreme leader is suffering alongside his citizens who face food shortages and an economic crisis. Mr. Kim recently acknowledged North Korea's food situation resulting from lower agricultural output, which he attributed largely to crop failures caused by last summer's typhoons. He urged the country's leaders to resolve shortages. But I, for one, can hardly believe Kim Jong Un lost weight because of fasting. Nam Sun-wook is a professor of North Korean studies at the South Korean's Korea University. He said, "We cannot rule out that Mr. Kim listened to his doctor and lost weight. His regime, though, is trying to create public sympathy for him through such interviews as the economic situation worsens," he said. There is so much mystery surrounding North Korean leaders. Mr. Kim, believed to be around 5'6", his estimated weight is about 310 to 330 pounds, Seoul's spy agency has said. That's nearly double the normal weight range for someone Mr. Kim's height. When his father, Kim Jong Il, died nearly a decade ago, Kim Jong Un was then 27 years old, weighed less than 200 pounds in his first year leading North Korea. Since then, he has gained about 14 pounds annually. Seoul's spy agency said the weight gain had its political purpose. It was to help him better resemble his grandfather, Kim regime observers say, as it arouses nostalgia of better times among the North Korean public. Kim Il-sung, the country's founder and Mr. Kim's grandfather, never shed the pounds he gained after the 1950-53 Korean War before his death in 1994. Whatever is behind Mr. Kim's recent weight loss, some South Korean experts say he is unlikely to have shed the pounds by design. In North Korea, being overweight is a sign of authority and power, said Kim Chung-sik, a former senior Seoul official who oversaw North Korean policy. That's why Kim Jong-un gained weight in the first place and why he is unlikely to have lost weight on purpose. The health of Mr. Kim and his predecessors has long attracted global speculation, but it was also the state secret. Last year, a nearly 3-week absence from public view ignited a global guessing game over whether Mr. Kim was alive or dead. He later emerged smiling and smoking at a factory opening. The attention isn't unfounded. A sudden death of a Kim ruler, if it were to trigger internal revolt or political chaos, could mean the US, its allies, and China would have to prepare for a sudden flow of refugees. It could also require a potential deployment of troops to prevent Pyongyang's nuclear weapon from falling under control of a rogue replacement. Cho Tae-yong, South Korea's former vice foreign minister and now a conservative lawmaker who sits on the Seoul legislature's intelligence committee. He urged intelligence officials to gain more information on why Mr. Kim has lost weight and how much he has dropped. Kim Jong-un's health in itself is a sign of North Korea's internal situation, Mr. Cho said. North Korea's state media rarely comments on the health of the ruling Kim. In 2014, Kim Jong Un had been absent for weeks and reappeared walking with a cane. State media remarked that Mr. Kim hadn't been feeling well. In 2008, North Korean state media had remained silent about a mysterious ailment of his father, Kim Jong Un. Details emerged after a French neurosurgeon who said he secretly treated the North Korean leader gave media interviews mentioning Mr. Kim had suffered a stroke. State media didn't provide much detail about Kim Jong Un's medical condition until his 2011 death. Mr. Kim died of a heart attack while on a train, state media reported. There are signs that the COVID crisis worsened in North Korea. According to the World Health Organization's latest figures, North Korea has reported 0 COVID-19 cases and tested more than 31,000 individuals. Mr. Kim was speaking at a Politburo meeting and he accused officials of neglecting their duties to execute the country's countermeasures to fight COVID-19, which caused an unspecified crucial case, according to a North Korean state media report published last Wednesday. He also pointed to the lack of ability and irresponsibility of a cadet. He blamed them for poor decision-making on scientific, technological, and institutional fronts, but he did not specify what had gone wrong. Experts say that if health conditions inside North Korea have worsened, Mr. Kim is likely to be looking for scapegoats and may be seeking political cover for accepting COVID-19 vaccines from overseas. North Korea is unusually vulnerable to the pandemic because of its poor healthcare infrastructure and widespread malnourishment. It was one of the first countries to react to COVID-19, shutting down its borders in January 2020. The country has yet to receive any of the nearly 2 million COVID-19 vaccines promised by the COVAX initiative, a program financed mostly by Western governments to help lower-income countries with inoculations. In recent weeks, the Kim regime has warned of a protracted fight against the virus and bolstered its emergency countermeasures. North Korea has projected an image of a successful fight against COVID-19. A military parade last fall featured tens of thousands of maskless spectators, including Mr. Kim himself. Even large Workers' Party meetings held indoors this year have packed attendees close together with rarely a face mask in sight. Mr. Kim is facing the toughest domestic crisis of his nearly decade-long reign. He was warned of potential food shortages. The country's economy has sputtered as cross-border trade halted over pandemic fears. Pyongyang has also brushed off the Biden administration's outreach to revisit nuclear talks that could relax sanctions. Maybe these are part of the reason Kim Jong Un lost weight. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly.